Yeah, we about to go live.
That's all right. Long as you ain't slow down.
Act like you got them skate. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Kane Nation? Another great episode of Kane's Talk Live, episode 100. We got 100 episodes already in the books. People already rocking and rolling. Chris Kane's up in the building. What's up, y'all? Let's get it going. We are a little bit early today. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Everything looks good, sounds good, and we definitely going to make it happen. Right here, we got the producer, T. Hines, one of the blue wrench bearers around here. We got two. We got Ellen, the producer, and T. Hines in the building. Welcome to the team. So if you want to be a part of the team, all you got to do is subscribe. Hit the button. It's free. Costs you absolutely nothing. All you got to do is make it happen. We're going to open this thing straight up. We know it's a lot of news. Here we go. We got the thumbs up in the building. There you go, QB. There you go, MK Dog, Slow Folk. Look at that, L. Anderson. Duval. I see y'all there. What you got, a little jab right there on the little heavy bag? I see you. All right, here we go. And T. Hines says it's all about the you. So I already got 62 in the building. Appreciate it. We did hit the 30,000 subscriber mark before our deadline, which was February 1st. We knocked that out the park, so we got to set a new one, which is what? 35,000 before our anniversary date of April 4th. That will be the third anniversary of the Coach Hayes Football YouTube channel. And I have to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed and become part of the team. And we're going to do some things. Like I said, we got some big things coming up here in the new year. It's been a lot going on. Coach trying to make it happen, man, but we are going to make it happen. So with that being said, we got the thumbs up, everything. Let me just do this quick intro, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines. I want to hear from the people as we talk about the new offensive coordinator that we're looking for the Miami Hurricanes. We already know we've had several players jump into the transfer portal. Some have landed, some have not. It's fine. We've also had some coaches leave already, and Coach Frank Ponce has already gone, went back to App State. Coach Josh Gaddis has technically, I guess, been fired or let go. He received a one-sentence email, or he didn't maybe receive that, but from my understanding, there was a one-sentence email sent out to the media in regards to his, I guess I'll call it dismissal, was basically saying he's been relieved of his duties and so forth. They ain't even hit that man with a thank you for what you've done for this university. They didn't hit him with the typical boiler room stuff that they typically say when they let somebody go and they thank them for their service. You know, they usually say, you know, we'd like to thank Coach Josh Gaddis for his service here and what he's done. We wish him the best in his next opportunity or his new endeavors, all that stuff. They hit the boy with a one-liner. Hey, he's been relieved of his duties, man, whatever, go Canes. That's tough business right there. There's been a lot of speculation about why he's been gone. He's not been around. He's not been visible when it comes to recruiting for the past 2-3 months since maybe November, the last game. He's not been visible on pictures with in-home visits, and that's something I brought up. I hadn't seen Coach Ponce and I hadn't seen Coach Gaddis in a lot of these in-home visits as these kids start taking pictures when they kind of, you know, just going around sealing the deal. And if you've been around Coach long enough, that's a telling thing when you don't see people, right? Out of sight, out of mind. And for the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach not to be seen in these particular pictures, that says a lot. I just put it to you like that. That says a lot. So with that being said, I kind of knew the writing was on the wall. I made a show. I think the last show was, if we're going to stay with him, stay with him. I don't care. Coach Hayes doesn't care if Coach Gaddis stayed, Frank. I didn't care. I really didn't. I just want to win. I want to get it right. But if you're going to dismiss him, whoever it may be, let's do it. So that way we can get into the pool of potential coordinators and we're into a bigger pool. And I want the people to discuss that as they call in and discuss, is the timing right? Should he have done it? And I know there's a buyout. I want to hear I get all that. But at some point, you may have to take that loss from a money standpoint to gain bigger, right? Yeah, we're talking about $3 million. If you start winning ball games, it's easy to make up $3 million. You could do that in hot dogs on a Saturday. If you ask me, maybe I'd add a soda to it, but you can definitely get it done. So if we're going to say we want to spend the money at this university to get things right, we can't be scared to lose some money in the process, if that all makes sense. So like I said, I want to go through that. I want people to talk about it. I already got 116 in here. I appreciate you guys. Hit the button. Let's get the algorithm kicking. I did start this show a little bit early because I didn't necessarily want to compete. Coach ain't never scared of competition, but I want to enjoy the playoffs as well. So I know they start at 3 and 6:30. Let me know in the chat who you think is going to win these games and then who you think is going to win the Super Bowl as well. But I just want to get this in, get it out the way. You guys go definitely check the rewatch squad and everything, or may check it out while you getting prepared for these games and barbecuing and grilling and everything else. Real quick before I get started, let me go ahead and give love to our sponsor, Mr. Alex Tabio from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. Anything you have to do with home financing, please check him out. Like I said, rates are high. I get it. Interest rates are up there, but get your stuff in order. All right. You never know when things may drop. You may find a good deal. Somebody looking to get out of their home in a hurry for whatever reason. You want to at least be prepared through the paperwork side of everything. So as you see, his information is right here, 305-205-1697, as well as all his other information and contact information is in the description below. So check him out. Anything you got to do with it, and tell him Coach Hayes sent you. He'll be a Canes fan. He already going to look out for you, but he might give you a little extra nudge too, man. And for all my entrepreneurs out there as well, if you don't have pay stubs and things, he has aggressive programs for entrepreneurs who deal with a lot of cash. All right. They got first hometown buyers and all of that stuff. Hit him up. It's a free phone call. Check him out. He'll definitely help you out. Alex Tabio from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. All right, here we go. One more thing before I get this thing started. If you're in the Central Florida area, I tell people all the time, you know, I've been dealing with my stuff, man. We got a Valentine's Day show coming up. Let me go ahead and put this up here right now. Southern Soul, y'all. The Love Festival is coming February 10th. All right, to the Apopka Amphitheater. Check it out. All the information is in the description as well. It's an all-white party. Coach going to be in that thing. You got to call Coach. When you address me that night, don't say Coach Hayes. Call me Coach Blanco, if you understand me. Coach Blanco. That means Coach White, because I'm going to have that all white on, looking like some elephant tusk out there. I'm going to be looking crispy. Crispy. And I ain't wearing no Air Force Ones either. Cut it out. Y'all boys be wearing these linen outfits with the Air Force Ones. Y'all better stop it. We're too old for that. All right. So check that out. All the information as well is in the description below. You're going to have special guests going to come in the building like Tucker, King George, Jeter Jones, Tina P, DJ Trucker, and it will be hosted by comedian extraordinaire Special K from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Go check it out. The gates be open at 4 p.m. The show starts at 5:30. It's going to be fun out there in the amphitheater. People are going to turn up and have a good time. So go check that out as well. Now, let's open up these phone lines and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. More than welcome to call in 321-328-8235. Let's talk about these Miami Hurricanes, maybe some potential candidates. Don't ask me. You know what I mean? Don't ask me right now if who's going to be, because I don't care. But go ahead and give us a phone call. Call on in. Let's talk about it. Let's see. What are your thoughts? One, do you think that they waited too long to get rid of Josh Gaddis? Two, who do you think will be the next hire and why? That's what I want to see right there. All right. That's right, Drosky. Coach going to be busting out them Stacey Adams. Boy, I stay on point like Stacey Adams, if you ask me. That's what it's going to be about. All right. Who is this? What's up, guys? What's up with everybody? Like I say, phone line is open. Oh, here we go. Terry E. Somebody said probably a good coach. I guess he's referring to Coach Gaddis. Probably a good coach. He has other issues I think he's hard to get along with. You know, everybody, I've heard certain things. I said that before. If anybody, so what I said about Mario's success, let me slow down a little bit. In order for Coach Cristobal to be successful, he has to strike gold on both his coordinators. I've said that before. I said that in the hiring. I said that when it was a toss-up between, you know, people wanted Lane Kiffin, people wanted Mario Cristobal. Because he didn't technically specialize on one side of the ball, and this is not saying that he doesn't know football, but Coach Mario Cristobal definitely knows football. That's not the question. But we're talking about specializing, play calling, implementing plays, installing, all of that kind of stuff, understanding the situation, so forth and so on. Those are the things that where I say he has to strike gold with his coordinators. And right now it goes to show you, yes, Josh Gaddis was a Broyles Award winner at Michigan, but it just didn't fit right. Okay. And that's where the biggest problem is. Not about X's and O's more than it is about FIT, fit. You got to be able to fit in this system. You are crammed in a building with a bunch of guys for 15 to 18 hours a day. You got to be able to work with one another. All right. It's a lot of ego when it comes to coaching. It's a lot of, he say, she say. A lot of that stuff goes on in there. So you have to be able to fit well together. And as a head coach, part of your job is to create that environment and create that culture where grown men have to work together in very tight spaces all the time. Think about it. You're traveling when it comes to the season. You're traveling together. You're with these players. You're in meetings. You're in practice. You're in more meetings and more meetings and staff meeting and more meetings, another meeting, and then staff meeting. It gets over and over. And sometimes you get tired of looking at the same people. But like I say, I may go on and shut this thing down. They got nobody calling in. 321-328-8235. The phone number is here. Please go ahead and give us a phone call. Let's talk about it. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Y'all scared to call in. Y'all be talking straight trash on Twitter. Straight trash. But when it comes to it now, nobody want to speak up and talk about it. I know who I can always rely on is Miss Wilcox. She'll let me know what time it is. Shad in the building. Here we go. Shad 1419. Y'all go check out his channel. That's some great stuff. He just put up a new video, I think, today. I checked it out today. Hiring a man with many red flags is head scratching. Shad, if you get a chance, call in. I want to hear about that. What do you mean about the red flags? Talk to us. Talk to us in that. Here's some potential candidates. Let's bring them up. Mullen. People are talking about Dan Mullen, who was the former head coach at University of Florida, Mississippi State. Now we're talking about Scott Frost, who was, of course, the head coach at South Florida. All right, he was the head coach at South Florida, as well as Nebraska. He did well at the University. I'm sorry, South Florida, Central Florida, excuse me. He did well at Central Florida. Didn't do so well at Nebraska. And that's his alma mater, man. That was tough. That was tough sledding for him. But yeah, they canned him. And it was what it was. But anyway, phone line is open. I see some people calling in. I'm not sure why it's not registering. Let me see here. I think it's my man Chi-Town. I'm gonna call Chi-Town back, man. Let's call him. I think it's him. Let's see. Call some people house. Y'all don't want to call me. I'm gonna call you.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, man, I heard you ordered two large pepperoni pizzas. They'll be there in 10 minutes.
Hey, as long as the deep dish, we cool up here in the shower.
All right, as long as they deep dish, I love it. They weren't calling in, so I say I know who to call. I know who to call my go-to. Chi-Town King, man. So what's up with you, man?
None. Spent some days in the hospital, but I'm doing all right.
Good, man. Good, man. So what's your thoughts on Josh Gaddis being let go? I don't know if you want to call it fired, whatever. But being let go from the Miami Hurricanes, was it too early, too late? Should they have done it? Should they have not done it? What?
I think it was needed, because if you only scoring 19 points on the field, like, obviously that's not going to cut it. And then on top of that, and you striking out in recruiting, and you're the wide receivers coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 2 of you're not doing your job. So I think it happened at the right time. And you know what? People could say, oh, he had too many injuries and this and that, but even so, in this day and age, if you're not even putting up 20 points a game, that's a huge, huge red flag. So I think it happened at the right time. And you know what? Maybe his style just works somewhere else, but I think it wasn't going to work over here.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Well, we got other people calling in. See, you started the waterfall, man, the avalanche, and I can't stop it. They call in. I see Studio One with the Euro Soccer League, so I need Studio One to call back in, man. But yeah, Shy. So I appreciate it, man. Who's your thoughts for the next guy? Who do you think may be the next guy?
Honestly, I want Scott Frost as an OC QB coach and James Coley as a wide receiver coach.
Okay.
And I know everybody's like, Scott Frost got all these red flags and all this kind of stuff. But I think it's a good place for him to start over, because if people don't remember, Steve Sarkisian had a lot of red flags before he went to Alabama, and then got himself together and rebooted his career. And you know what? I honestly think sometimes a change of scenery just needs to happen. Whatever you do at the old place you work at doesn't necessarily mean you'll be the same person at the new place you work at. Sometimes a change of scenery does people wonders. And I think James Coley is just the right type of recruiting nut job that Mario Cristobal likes on his staff. And with the 2024 class with all the top wide receivers, especially in South Florida with the Chaminade boys and the Central boys and all that kind of stuff, I think he would fit right in. So I just need to see production. If we could put up, I think, at least 28 points a game, and our defense doesn't need to be on the field as long as they were on last year, I honestly think we'll have a great year.
All right. Well, there it is, man. There it is. We'll definitely find out. We'll definitely see. But, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot, Shai. That's interesting. James Coley for a receiver coach and Scott Frost. But you said red flags on Scott. What are the red flags outside of maybe just having a losing record?
Well, obviously, most of them are rumors. I personally don't have any proof. I don't have anybody connected to the situation, but a lot of people drinking on the job, or after a loss, he would just drink away his sorrows or whatever, and would go to team. Yeah. So anyway, a lot of rumors, because a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram swear they are in the facility with all these coaches. So I whatever people say, I take with a grain of salt. But I honestly just think that he would actually fit really well down here. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I didn't know that. I had not heard that, man. But all right, that makes sense. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem, Coach.
Thanks, brother. All right, man. Shout out to Ken. We got Doug Mo Beer in the building for the $10 dono. He says, Coach Hayes, keep the great work. Canes for life, 100, man. I appreciate that, Chug Mo. And yeah, well, it's after 12, so I'll go ahead and chug one for you. That cane juice biting. Yeah. Chug Mo, you killing me, baby. It's too early for all this. But guess what? You keep donating,
baby.
You keep donating, Coach. You keep chugging, if you heard me. Huh? Anyway, we got 904 on the line, 222 people in the building. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you're calling from. Let us know, what are your thoughts on the Josh Gaddis firing? And was it early, too late, should have been done? Who's the replacement? Whatever's on your mind. Talk to us.
All right. What's up, Coach Hayes? This Studio One live in the building.
Studio One, what's up with you, baby?
I know I had to give you a chance to crack at me. Go ahead.
I love to hear your voice, bro. That's all I needed right there, man. I love to hear your voice.
I appreciate you, man. Listen. Shandong Tyson beat Zhejiang Professional Championship. Their league is over now. It's over.
So Taizong,
but listen, I want to talk some serious business, man.
All right, hold up. But Taizong Deng Chong beat Ching Shong Deng Professional for the championship.
So Shandong Tyson beat Zhejiang Professional in the championship.
Get out of here, man. Go ahead, Studio. Talk to me, man. You say you want to talk some real business. Let's go. Get it out, man.
All right, listen. I think they scapegoated him a little bit with having to fire somebody. Somebody had to be fired. Okay, they picked him to scapegoat. Okay, cool. They waited a long time. Yeah, the money. I don't know if this money is real about the buyout and why they're waiting, because it seems like, I don't know, is it still official? Because they just say he's just been relieved of duties. Still ain't 100%, because as far as we know, he could be demoted to receivers coach.
Good call, Coach. Hey, listen, again, it's all in the language, right? And I, you know what, Studio? Man, y'all clap it up for Studio being his lawyer skills right here, watching that Law and Order. Y'all clap it up for Studio. Studio, you know what? You may have said something huge right there. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm glad you picked that up because I just brought up. You notice they didn't necessarily say thank you for what you've done. Da da da. It was just a one-liner saying he was relieved of his duties, and that is certain language, man. That guess what? He may no longer be the OC. He may just have a role in the building. Now he'll be highly paid for that role, but they may have taken a role. Good call, Coach. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it's good. It's funny that you mentioned that, right? Mm-hmm. He get reduced to OC, but my two candidates are receiver coaches. And I'm so tired of us going through these recycled coaches. Dan Mullen, please no. Coley, no. I mean, look at what happened with him and Golden. And then you see what happened. He had Texas A&M. They offense trash. Do we really want him? Just be honest. I want some new blood. So I got two candidates. And the first one, they ain't going to like. But I want to bring Leonard Hankerson over here from the 49ers. He'd have been with the 49ers a couple of years. He knows Shanahan's offense. I want to give him a try. Because if he could install 49ers offense, I mean, just think about it. We gave the Broyles winner a try. He had the best resume. This is the best coaching staff of Miami's history. Whatever. Bring Hank here and let him install that 49ers offense. If he's successful, they're in trouble. Okay, if you can't deal with him, my second choice would be Kevin Beard at Toledo. And I know y'all see that offense, how Toledo's receivers and how that offense scheme running.
So
it's lightning in the bottom.
So hold on, studio. You're talking about Leonard Hankerson and Kevin Beard as the OC or as the receiver coach?
I want to give him the OC job. Listen, if you've been in the NFL for 2 or 3 years, man, you got it together, bro. You know how to manage and teach a system. You know what I'm saying? Now, will the players buy in? Can he, teach it to the players? We don't know, but we thought Gaddis could do it. He couldn't do it. What I would say is Leonard Hankerson is a Miami guy. He's a South Florida guy. He's from Miami. He's a former Hurricane. If anybody will listen to him, it'll be the kids from South Florida who we're trying to recruit. So I think he has at least an upper hand at teaching them, even if he's not a good teacher per se.
Okay.
He's in the NFL, man. We got to get him. Listen, I take NFL over any of these recycled coaches that's recycled garbage.
You know the hard part, though, man? When you start coaching in the NFL, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong. But it's like somebody says up here, or does he want to recruit? And everybody knows, everybody wants to bring back their home guy. But my brother, I'm telling you, college coaching is a different beast than the NFL. It is a total different beast because of the recruiting part. It is nonstop in the middle. Think about recruiting. People think about recruiting. Recruiting is a 365, 24/7, a 24/7 job. During the season, before you go to play your football game, you have to go over to the recruiting area and talk to these guys instead of get focused for the game. After the game, you got to meet with the recruits that's there. Off season, you got to go talk. You flying across the country to go see these recruits. If you're not going to go see them, you're on the phone, you're texting and tweeting. I'm just saying, it is grueling work. Versus the NFL, versus the NFL, I'm saying. Versus the NFL.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
and that's why listen, Coach. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that. You brought a great point because that's why we should probably go with Hank because he's young blood. He's not one of these old, got used to those little, he's darn near in retirement. He's young blood. He's young, full of energy. He's got a love for the school. So I could see him coming here and be like, following right behind Mario. Like, come on, we can. Who else would want Miami to get back to championship? Is other than Hank, and not to mention you giving this dude an opportunity. We don't give our black coaches opportunity. I hear people in the comment, oh yeah, wide receiver coach, but not OC. Why not? Tell me really why. If he's good enough to get the wide receivers in position run route, he can call the plays. He can call the plays. And not to mention, he's going to follow Mario because he want to get Miami back to championship proud. He's young blood. He's going to get in there and work them all. He knows the school. He's going to, who else? Oh, Kevin Beard. One of them, both of them young bloods. They can't deny it, man. Give our black people a chance. Y'all stop tying them down. Oh, no, he could be the wide receiver, but he can't be that. Why?
Well, that's fair because guess what? There are some young coaches. I guess I count. You got some young white coaches. I'm looking at him now. He's 33 years old, and they're coordinators. So why not? Hey, they got to get a shot somewhere. And he's done 6 years. He's been coaching since 2016, high school in 2016, graduate assistant in 17, wide receiver coach at UMass 18, Stephen F. Austin, wide receiver coach 1920. And then went from there. He got to do something. Give him Stephen F. Austin, quality control coach in 21. And then the following year, they trust him in 22 to the present to be the wide receiver coach. And they may be going to the Super Bowl. So, Studio, you might be on to something, bro. You might be on to something.
They keep saying he got to learn. That man is already learned. He know how to run the offense and call plays. What he got to learn? Stop it. He got to learn. We don't need nobody to learn on the job. Who learns to call plays when it's 3rd and 3? You know what to call? Come on, stop it.
All right, so hold on. Let's take this. Studio, hold on. I like where you're going. Let's take the same approach. I pulled up the great Joe Brady everybody wanted. 2013-14, linebackers coach at William & Mary. 15-16, graduate assistant at Penn State. Then he goes to the New Orleans Saints, offensive assistant, 2017-18. He goes in 2019, the passing game coordinator. Think about it. He goes as an offensive assistant, not even a position coach. He was the offensive assistant at the New Orleans Saints, a graduate assistant before that, and a linebackers coach. He goes to LSU as the passing game coordinator and wide receiver coach in 2019 and coaches arguably the best college football team of all time and gets to look how fast he's moving. And he is technically right now only 33 years of age. So he did all that earlier than 33. He may have been, he was 29 or 30 at the time of LSU. Studio, you might be on to something, Studio.
Dig up that information, coach. Dig it up.
Because here's the deal.
Dig it up, coach.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm looking at timelines. He started in 13 of coaching. Leonard Hankerson starts in 16. So there's a 3-year differential there, right? Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, in 13 to 19, which is 6 years, he's become the offensive coordinator at LSU. Well, Leonard Hankerson from 16 to now 23 would be 6-year differential, right? And he actually technically probably has more coaching experience than Joe Brady at the time. And Joe Brady got the passing game coordinator and wide receiver coach. So he could come in to be the passing game coordinator, right? And wide receiver coach. Or I don't think he's coaching what you call it. And whoever the offensive coordinator could be the quarterback, coach, and run game, whatever, however you want to split it up. But Studio, you might be on to something, my brother.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you one quick question, Roger. I know you got callers starting to come in now. Let me ask you one quick question on that point. Let's just say we had a choice of getting Brady or Hank, right? And we know we'll choose Brady because what he done did already, because he got the opportunity before Hank. But who do you think on a long-term basis will want to recruit the South Florida kids more harder, Hank or Brady?
I'm just going to limb here, and I'm just going to say Hankerson just because he's from the career. Well, so is Brady. Brady's from Miami too. He went to
Yeah, but he a black boy. Listen. I hate to bring race in it, but being a black guy, you see what Aaron Reed? He love the kids.
Yeah, but Studio.
Hey, love them kids, man. He done been through it. Brady probably grew up rich from the hood.
Yeah.
Hank grew up, and he understands the whole process of what it takes of going to college, the scholarship, NFL, maybe not making it, having to go through the free agent route, grinding your way through it, and finding a career long term. That's just an opportunity. That's just a perfect model. If you can mold success, that's the best way to do it. Because most of these NFL people ain't finna be yellow jacket dudes, all-star dudes. Most of them gonna be journeymen, make it a couple of years in the league, and then they out. What you gonna do with it? That's a perfect example. Man, Hank that shot, man. Last thing I gotta go because I was trying to call in with my alum. I'm a Bethune-Cookman alum, right? Bethune-Cookman College. And it wasn't that bad when I went there in 94 and 95. So apparently leadership is an issue. Because I remember when I went there, they was growing up new buildings, new science halls. So it's nice. It looked like it had promise. And I don't know what I looked at the board. I don't know how this interim president gets appointed. I don't know who appointed the board. It don't even show you that. But I'm glad Ed Reed pointed this out because somebody has infiltrated the school and is sucking their money dry, bro. And I think it's a few of these schools getting victimized by a couple of, some of these black people, man. They I hate to bring race in again, but when they find a way to get some kind of authority, they take advantage, boy. They'll trim here, trim there, overcharge you there, gouge you here. We as a people got to look at ourselves too, man.
I agree. So, Studio,
I'm out,
this.
man.
I got this.
Your coach.
I got you, but I love you, bro. I love you too, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: from a recruiting standpoint, we could look at the individual, but there's some interesting points. Some people brought up people like Brian Hartline that recruits, and I get where you're coming from. But I think recruiting is something you have to really enjoy. You have to be out there enjoying the hunt. You have to enjoy, and I don't know if that's a race thing. Now, it may be help you with relationships, but so far as recruiting, if you don't love recruiting, I don't care if you black, white, purple, or green, you're not going to be good at it because you have to, I'm telling you, think about it. You are on the phone hunting down 16 and 17-year-olds who change their number every 10 days, who go to different schools every year, who don't keep the phone on. You're trying to catch them on Twitter. You're a grown man chasing a prima donna 17-year-old who think his ish don't stink. Like, it takes a certain breed of person to be very good at recruiting. You know what I mean? Like, and not get sidetracked and not get, because like you say, think about it. Most of us saying, man, I ain't tolerating that. And now you out here on the phone every 10 minutes chasing down. You got 116-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds you chasing down. Hey, coach, I can't talk to you right now because I gotta finish doing this. And you like, bro, I don't have that much time. Hey, but you got to play it off. All right, man, call me back when you get a chance. And when they call you back, you are now with your family. So you got to tell your wife and kid, hold on a second, let me take this call from Studio One because he a big time recruit. I'm telling you, it's a different breed. But I appreciate you, Studio. Thanks a lot, man.
Yo.
All right. All right, big shout out to Studio One. Now, I brought it up just because we're talking time frames between Joe Brady and Leonard Hankerson. I'm not saying I haven't really investigated, so I can't say he's right for the job. But I do remember Shad. I remember Shad, you bringing this up. We're talking about Joe Brady being he has a mid resume. And I think his resume is mid because of what he's done in the league. Caller, give me 1 second. Because of what he's done when he now got to the league. He kind of crapped the bed, right? Well, you're talking about a guy that flew up the ladder in a hurry. He's only 33 years old today, as of now. And that was 3 years ago. He was with LSU. So he was what, 30, 29, 30? And he was the hottest thing smoking. We sure wanted him. I could swear I could have heard the fan base. Joe Brady, we want Joe Brady. He's from Miami. He's from the area, South Florida. He knows how to get kids. He knows the culture. Now he craps the bed with the Panthers, right? And I like, we don't necessarily want him too much. So I just want to put that out there just on studio side to say we're talking about a period of time, because we look at, we look at 6 years and look what Joe Brady in 6 years, how fast he moved up the ladder. But then we'll look at Leonard Hankerson and say, oh, he needs more time to learn. But why? When his resume technically has more experience than Joe Brady. First of all, he played in the league from 11 to 15. So he played for a while on several different teams, Washington, Atlanta, New England, and Buffalo. So that's 4 different styles he gets to see. Then he coached at UMass, coached at Stephen F. Austin, coached for the San Francisco 49ers. So from 11 to now, in the past 11, 12 years, he's seen a lot of different stuff. Who's to say he hasn't learned? I don't know. I just put it out there, and I don't know what he knows on the board. I'm just talking. He may have got it for that. Caller, talk to us, 240 area code. Give us your name, where you're calling from. What's your thoughts on Josh Gaddis hiring and firing?
Hey, this is Victor calling from Maryland. So, first of all, thanks for taking my call. But,
sure, man.
So really, here's my thoughts on it. I think Joe Brady and Hankerson are bad options, because Joe Brady, I know from doing research that Joe Brady, he's not really, he's really just a pass game specialist. So he doesn't really know the run game at all. So he's kind of one faceted. So that's why even at LSU, he wasn't a full-time play caller. I believe, I'm trying to remember his name, but they had a Steve Messenger. I think that, he had like a co-OC to help with the first down plays. So so the LSU results are kind of mixed, and they had a bunch of talent anyway. Then I think the issue with Hankerson is, I think you'll be running into the same issue you have with Gaddis. You don't want your offensive coordinator being a receivers guy, because, now you're coaching 17 guys, 17 receivers in the receiving room, and you still got to coordinate the offense. That's too much work for one guy. Yeah.
So why not split it? Why not split the duties? As you see, that is very, very common today. You do have a pass game coordinator. You have a run game coordinator. And then you, out of those two, you may have a play caller and like they work in tandem. So why not split those duties where, it's a passing down or whatever, and Hankerson has his list. He creates that list. I'm just talking, whether it's Hankerson, Brady, whoever. And then why not have a run game coordinator and whoever that may be? I'm just speaking, just posing questions.
I mean, I hear you, but I think it seems that you guys want to pay the next coordinator almost $2 million. If you're paying that much, you want somebody that you could just let run the whole offense. You don't want to hire somebody that's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think you want to do a by committee approach. I mean, I don't know if that's even possible, because a lot of times, even when we have co-OCs, it's still one person making the final decision. So I don't know.
You have a game day call. Yeah, you have a game day play caller, right? It's not like, all right, it's a pass down. Go ahead, Hank, you got it. Oh, it's a rundown. Okay, I'm gonna call it. It ain't like you ain't playing Twister out there. But we're talking about, again, coordinator doesn't mean pass a play caller. A lot of people get that misunderstood, right? When you go look at Tennessee or you go look at USC, they have an offensive coordinator. Coordinator means just that. A lot of people think coordinator means play caller. No, you coordinate. In the words of my man Pops, you got to coordinate. You coordinate the stuff. You put it together. You assemble it. You this, that, and the third. But the play caller is the head coach. Josh Heupel, Lincoln Riley. They call the plays. The coordinator is there for installs. It's somebody they trust, right? That can install it. And of course, that title holds weight, so it helps them get other jobs and so forth. And in practice, I guarantee they called up some of the plays in practice on the script and so forth. But it's also a way of learning under that head coach so you can get that time. Now, this is where we fall into a situation. Our head coach is not a specialist. What do I mean? He's not a specialist offensively or defensively. So to your point, you're right. You may need to have an overall guy, and he can teach guys underneath. But when your head coach specializes, you can split duties like that: run game coordinator, pass game coordinator, and so forth.
All right. Can I just say one more thing about Gaddis?
Sure, talk your piece.
I think, this is a very strange situation. I mean, it looks like they were trying to fire him for cause. I guess that's why they waited so long. I thought they were trying to wait for him to get another job. That could have been the case, but it's like if James Franklin don't even want you back as the receivers coach, if he hired Marcus Higgins from Virginia instead, then it's like I know he can't go to Maryland because I don't know. I don't know if him and Mike Locksley all really get along like that. So I don't know where he could go besides the NFL. Maybe the NFL could take him as a receivers coach.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say something, and I don't know if it was this bad. Well, a lot of people don't know. I was there at that staff, and again, I don't know how deep this goes. I'm just talking for entertainment value. But at the end of the game, when FIU played Western Kentucky, Coach Cristobal was the head coach at FIU. Willie Taggart was the head coach at Western Kentucky. And it got a little riff in there, right? It was a little, it was some trash talk. It was some serious trash talking going on at the end of that game between those two. You know what I mean? It was a couple 4 letters, and it was a couple of your mamas, and if you understand what I'm saying. And when I saw him leave Alabama to go to Oregon under Willie Taggart, I have to be honest, I was floored. I was like, what? Knowing what I knew from that. And that's not a secret, right? It's not like behind the clothes. This was at the end of the game. Both teams kind of getting pissed off with each other, so forth and so on. But when I saw him leave Alabama, meaning Mario Cristobal leave Alabama and go to Oregon, I'm like, oh my God. Like, because I knew the little riff, and I was wondering how that was going to work out, knowing the personality of Mario Cristobal. But they probably talked it out and worked it out like most people do, right? Just like Shannon Sharp and what's his name, John Moran's dad did. Yeah, you riff, and then y'all go shake hands and call it a day. But in the back of your mind, you still know that dude tried
you. Yeah, I hear. Yeah, I understand that, but I feel like even in that situation, like Mario has all the leverage there because, like Willie Taggart can't really coach like that. Like, but Mario is an O-line specialist, so I mean, if you want somebody with the Florida ties, that could coach a line, is Willie Taggart doesn't have much options. I mean, he probably respects him so much, so it doesn't even matter if they don't get along. Well,
I get it. It was just wondering. You know what I mean? I'm just talking because, like what you just said, with the reason I brought that up because you brought up Mike Locksley and Josh Gaddis. I wouldn't be surprised if he can help Mike Locksley win in some form or fashion. Who knows? I don't know. But I know Mike Locksley known to have a right hand knocker. He done sparked the dude at New Mexico. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, bro. I like Mike Locksley. I know Mike Locksley well. But Lock, man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he let me do something with him.
Yeah, Lock's cool people, man. Good people, good fun. And he's right there in his hometown, man, the DMV area, the DC area. And so, yeah, he's good folks, man. But hey, man, you'd be surprised how this thing worked. I mean, who would have thought Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban worked together, right?
Yeah.
But the common goal was what? A natty.
What's up with Lane Kiffin firing coaches every year? Because I noticed that it's like he does this he did it at FAU, and now he's doing that Ole Miss. He just fires like a bunch of like I don't want to make this a race issue or nothing because it's not, but it's how you always have the black recruiter on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not the best coach. It seems like he hires that person initially, then he fires them when the results don't come. Like at FAU, he did it to Gary Harrell, Coach Lee. He was the head coach at Howard, and then he was the receivers coach at FAU.
Yeah, he's over there with Prime now.
Now he's Prime.
I know Flea well. Flea from Miami, man. He was at Texas. I know Flea way back when he's at Texas Southern. He's the coach at Howard, like you said, and I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't follow Lane Kiffin so far as his movements like that all the time. He may be, like I said, I don't know. I would hate to even speculate because I don't have a clue of why he does what he did.
I feel like it's to get the recruits. Then when he's done with them, because he just did it to another coach too, Chris Partridge. He's like a former high school coach, and he was the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, and now he just let him go. But he made sure he got all them recruits over the past.
He got rid of Chris Partridge.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that came from Michigan.
Yeah. The former New Jersey high school coach.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he coached what's the defensive end from Michigan? Gary, Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, Rashawn. Yeah, he was there at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to be honest. What was their defense like?
I mean, it wasn't good, but it's like defenses under Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin are never good. Like even when his dad was a DC, Monty Kiffin, like it wasn't good. I feel like it's the mentality.
Yeah, maybe so. It may just very well be, and maybe he's looking for. Here's a lot of times. I feel like this, like with Brian Leftwich when he got fired. Some stuff is just optics, bro. Right? Some stuff is you have to make certain things. Like, why are you firing Brian Leftwich? Like, you really think Brian Leftwich is the problem with Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Let's be honest.
I mean, I think he's part of the problem here.
You believe that?
I think. Well, hey, Todd Bowles. I don't think Todd Bowles would fire him if he really didn't think he was a problem. I mean, if you look at it, Brian Leftwich, his I guess to me watching the game, it's like he doesn't look as good now that Bruce Arians is not involved.
But Tom Brady missing 10-yard throws, dog.
Yeah, but Tom Brady misses 10-yard throws, but he also helps you in other situations when the play call is not good. He could audible out of it, or he could just make something out of nothing. So
and
it's
so
like you can't.
So here's my right. So here's my problem. Well, here's the thing, and I have to say this. I don't know this to be factual. You always have to give disclaimers here because people Twitter you to death, bro. He wins a Super Bowl with this. I guarantee they're probably running the same type of offense. Yeah, Bruce Arians is not maybe right there. But I think Tom Brady knows it. I think Brian Leftwich and Tom Brady are working well together. You're not teaching Tom Brady how to throw a ball, so that's probably nothing. Hey, Tom, make sure you get your elbow over the top. I don't think that's happening. I just think that some things are optically done to please other people that make decisions. I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, but so you think they let go of Leftwich to please Tom Brady?
Tom Brady and the upper brass so he could save his job. Like the upper management. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, when the offense didn't look good, maybe it was rumblings. All right, Brian, I got to let you ride, bro. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Not necessarily Tom Brady, but Tom Brady as well as, the I don't know, what do they call the guts? What do they call the Glacier family? I think that's what they call it, Tampa Bay, the family that owns the Bucks.
Yeah.
But anyhow, but I'm just saying the GMs to make people feel a certain way. That's just my personal opinion. But that's neither here nor there, man. But I thank you. I appreciate you calling in, man. You a long time follower, subscriber?
No, actually, I just started watching last week. I heard about you through third person, other people watching.
All right, man. Well, whoever told you, man, give him a high five and buy him a bill for me, man. Tell him I said thank you, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, we got another call. That was a good call coming out of Maryland. 706 on the line. Call or talk to us. We got 360 people listening to your voice right now. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Coach Hayes, it's your boy.
Who is your boy? Who is that?
Jarrell Mabry.
Oh, what's up, man? What's going on with you?
What's going on? All
right, so Jarrell, talk to me now. You a Cane. Y'all clap it up. Hold up. Y'all clap it up for the Cane in the building. We got a Cane on the line. Y'all clap it up. We got a hurricane on the line. What's your thought?
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. We all gonna give y'all love. What's your thoughts on the dismissal of Coach Gaddis, Frank Ponce, and everything as you look at it through the lens of a former Cane and what it was to what it is now?
Well, the writing was on the wall a long time ago, back in week 4, when they stated that him and Ponce were finally sitting down with Van Dyke and the other quarterbacks and trying to fix the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
So we 4 weeks into the season. You done been here for the spring, the summer, and y'all hadn't did that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you looking at stuff logically, but go ahead. I appreciate that.
I mean, so at that point, to me, like the writing was on the wall, and then we didn't produce. To me, I think because Mario likes to try to hold like his coaches to find another place before they let go. I actually think I would have let Gaddis go as soon as the season ended.
Okay, so
So now
you're saying it should have been earlier. Now, my question is, here's the big question for you. Why? Why do you feel like he should let him go earlier? What are you saying? Like, so end of November, whenever that last game, maybe first part of December. Why then and not now?
he would have been gone like Dan Anos was gone with Manny. Before they left out of Louisiana, Dan Anos was gone. And because he just didn't fit. Like, there's no knock against him as a coach, but he just didn't fit. To me, it was too much. It's too much for him to try to coach wide receivers, game plan, and then he still would have to. He wasn't even communicating with the quarterbacks. And then the wide receivers, from what I understand, they wasn't getting along with him in the meeting rooms and the way he coached. At some point, you got to look at who's the common factor in all of this.
So let me ask you a question, because I think you're a little closer to the program than most, you know what I mean, so far as the former Canes kind of get on chats and talk or whatever. You know how it goes. A lot of us are definitely on the outside looking in. We are all straight speculating unless you're in that room. And I always say this is not a breaking news channel. I'm not here to break any news. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, I'm just having fun on here, talking media, talking football. Do you think, or have you heard that may have been an issue at Michigan? And before I say that, let me bring this up and why I asked that. Again, I look at things that people say, but I also listen to the things people don't say. And I think that's super important. When he left Michigan, and I know there was a deal with Jim Harbaugh trying to go to Minnesota Vikings, and he felt like he wasn't appreciated to be up next for the job and so forth and so on. That was the rumor. I never heard him say that. Maybe he did. I didn't see it. But I think where I'm going to tell you what tells a story for me. When he left Michigan as the Broyles Award winner, as the offensive coordinator, who finally got a chance to beat Ohio State after 10, 11 years, 12 years, whatever it is. Taking them to the to the playoff rounds. And there was no fight for him to stay.
Exactly.
That right there was telling. Like, bro, the same way we were happy he was a Broyles Award winner, they didn't fight for a Broyles Award winner at Michigan to stay. That right there told me a lot.
It tells you everything you need to know. Something's not right with that situation. If he done so much for that school, and then they just willy-nilly let him leave, something ain't right. But from my understanding, he wasn't the first choice. It was Tommy Rees. But Rees turned us down.
Yeah, maybe so. But again, right? But again, does that happen because we waited so long to start looking or pick somebody? Or maybe Mario started early and he kept getting turned down. And now there begs the question, why do people keep turning us down? Because I know they say, I don't know this to be, they say we went after Joe Brady. They say we went after the coach from Campbell from Toledo. We went after a couple of few or four, I want to say 3 or 4 guys. And we ended up with Brady. We ended up with Josh Gaddis. So the question there lies is, why can't we land these recruiters to the University of Miami? These coordinators, to the University of Miami.
Man, it just depends on the because Mario has a particular coordinator that he wants. So, he's not going to come in and run an air raid offense. And, so a lot of those coaches, some of them they may not run his style of offense. He wants his offense implemented. So you know, a lot of coaches feel like, okay, I'm an OC, or especially in Canada, I'm a head coach. I got my own system that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it could be a lot of that. Now it's a lot of. For a while, we wasn't paying, but now that we got the money, it's okay. Now we got to figure out how to still do what Mario wants, but also allow them to implement some of their system as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he has to get it right with this next hire, though. He has to.
He's got to get it right. This is what I was talking about before. He got to strike gold when it comes to these coordinators, and that's not an easy thing to do. Just because a person did well, and this is what's hard about that. Because somebody did well at one place, doesn't mean they're going to do well here,
right?
Because of the fit. But you have to take that chance on the person that did well other places. Like, it's so hard, like, because you're talking about human beings, right? Because that person did well, the fit, the environment, the whatever worked well for that person. But then when they come to Miami, and we all know Miami's a different beast, not just football, but the city, the
city,
people,
period.
the people. We are built totally different. Do you know, I could be in Virginia, and this is true. I was in Virginia, and the dude walking down the street, I could tell he was from the crib just by looking. Like, the way they, maybe people from New York can do the same thing about New Yorkers, and maybe they can tell the difference between New York and New Jersey people. I can't, but I definitely know a person from the crib. I don't care if we was in Vietnam or we was on 62nd Avenue. I mean, on 62nd Street. I can tell a person from the crib, but that's just how it is. But a lot of people don't understand that. That's why it's always been hard for a lot of our players to thrive outside of South Florida and stay, because the environment is so different. So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, see, now we got to strike. Me personally, I like Scott Frost.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying Cliff Kingsbury. To me, the guy would be Scott Frost. What he did with those kids at UCF as a head coach, OC, with those Florida kids, so he already knows Florida. He knows how to, handle the situation and carry themselves, and how big football is here.
Uh-huh.
People say he had a tough time at Nebraska, but come on, man, that's Nebraska. It's gonna take for where they at now, because they're in the same boat we're in. It's gonna take a lot to turn Nebraska around, and he just couldn't. He could get the players like he was getting the UCF to come to Nebraska.
So here's my question. You want him there, but you just mentioned that Cristobal has a certain offense he wants. And you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that UCF offense is what Cristobal is looking for. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, but see, Scott Frost will run the ball though. It won't be power. I don't think it's power running, but Scott Frost does run the ball.
Right, but what we're saying is how you run the ball. I think has always been part of Cristobal's look. Was
sometimes you gotta give. Sometimes
I'm
you gotta
with
give to get to them.
I'm with you, dog. Listen, I may want a lot. In the words of Trick Daddy, I want to buy me a Benz, but I'm 50 grand short.
Right.
You understand me? So I got to go get this Prius right now until I can go and get this Benz, because I still need to ride around at the end of the day. So until he can get what he wants, he better take what he can get that's going to be effective. Because I'm telling you, I've said this before.
Right.
What does the native son do when the natives turn on you? What do you do? Like, what does Cristobal do? I know he doesn't necessarily may not care, but what do you do when the city says you ain't the man no more? Because it's taking too long.
Right.
Because we get restless. We'll fly that plane in a minute. But
it's already. Oh man, I was in Goose. They wanted the plane flew last year. I was like, no, y'all gotta relax. You gotta understand where we coming from. Man, I was talking to my brother. I was showing my son because I still have videos of our locker room.
Uh-huh.
I was like, dog, you gotta understand. Look, they got cushion and stuff on their seats now. They got their name above their locker and stuff. No, we didn't have that. We sat on wood lockers, no cushion, no nothing. Wood lockers with just a strip that got your name on it.
What year was this?
I came in 2005.
Thank you. This is what I'm trying to tell people. You know, it sounds funny. You came in
two couches.
You came in 2005. When did you leave?
2008.
Okay. Think about this. We're only talking 23, so 15 years ago. This is what people don't understand. I've said this before, and I know I'm going to sound, I think I was talking in the studio. Maybe I wasn't. I was talking to somebody. The stuff we're doing today, and I know I'm going to sound like a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to be. But the stuff that we're putting in today, people were putting in 15 years ago, bro.
Exactly.
I went to Tennessee in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
exactly.
12. Listen, they've changed that stuff twice.
Since then. Man, we're so far behind as a program.
Listen, we're talking about, hold on. Everybody, like I said, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, right? We put in $100 million into our facility, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're a private school. We're this. We're that. Well, Northwestern just said they putting in how much? $800 million in the stadium, dog.
Right.
We talking about $100 million. And again, I'm not, beggar can't be choosy. I'm happy we're doing it. But I'm talking about how far we are so far behind that Northwestern, who won 2 games this year, is putting in $800 million
into a stadium.
And they never won nothing. They might have won the Brain Bowl, but ain't nobody. They're not having the Brain Bowl in the stadium.
Man, they don't understand. We ain't have like all these other schools how they got ice pools and warm pools. Man, we didn't have that. We had trash cans full of ice water.
Thank you. Five-time national championship winning team. 5-time, arguably a 6th, but at least 5-time national championship winning team. And y'all got some Glad bags out there with some ice in it.
That's it. You got in that great trash. Everybody can go to Walmart and buy that great 5-gallon trash can. And that's what we got in.
In 2005, 2008, 15 years ago. And I guarantee they were still there after that.
Right. You couldn't even get in all the way. You had to get your chest and you had to get on your knees just to get part of the other half of your body in.
Come on, man. Bro, this is stuff I'm talking about.
They don't understand how far behind. We had 2 couches, coach.
Couches.
2 couches. Like a regular living room, we had 2 couches to sit on.
And LSU got sleep pods, right? I'm just saying, bro. Now, I understand that's public school, but I'm just talking like 5-time national championship winning program. And y'all boys got wood bench with your name on the thing.
That's it. That's it.
My Lord.
But to us, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we cherished it, though. To us, you know what I'm saying? It was it's top of the line for us. 1 TV. We got 1 TV in the locker room. So you're gonna have to choose something that everybody gonna watch, or an older player gonna put on what he wants.
That thing like prison, dog. Hey, player.
Right.
We watching Judge Judy today, cuz. But I don't want to. Hey, shut up, man. I'm older than you. Sit back and watch it. Come on, man. That's crazy. And back then, phones aren't like they are today, right? Where you got your iPads and technology wasn't like it is. Yeah. That's funny, man.
Man, shit. Camp, man, we ain't have no sleep pods or cushions on the floor. You laid your butt down and put your bag that they have your workout clothes in. You put that was your pillow, and you laid on that hard floor. To try to get some sleep during camp.
Look at this. You want to know something? So people talk about private schools. TCU. In 2017, TCU spent $164 million to renovate. Listen to this. And this is 2017. They spent $164 million to renovate Amon G. Carter Stadium following the Horned Frogs' undefeated Rose Bowl season in 2010. All right.
Right.
The article was written in 2017. When they did the Rose Bowl win in 2010, that's what they spent. Oh, Lord, they want to keep your boy out the article. Boy, the Star Telegram, y'all suck. But anyway, but hold on, here go the funny thing. That was 2017. December 3rd of 2022, the estimated $40 million project announced Thursday will be funded through private donations. Construction is expected to begin in 2024. So in 5 years, they finna put another $40 million into this thing.
Right.
So we talking in 5 years, they finna put $200 million. We just cranking.
Right. We just starting we hadn't even broke ground on it yet. We hadn't even broke ground yet.
Oh God. You got like
and people
that's tough, man.
Man. And people that man, they don't understand, man. They don't understand, but like I said, we're so far behind now, but Mario's there, we getting it. He's trying to get us there, but it has to start to show on the field. Now the overhaul of the roster, I knew that was coming. And a lot of people were upset with me because I would say, they said, well, Manny won this many games with that team. Okay, Manny has a different philosophy, different coaching style. You can't compare. You can't expect Mario to do what Manny did with Manny players in the way he had that program set up.
Right.
And then people try to say, well, I'll throw out there, I say, hey, Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe with other people players. Y'all ain't say nothing. Y'all ain't kill him. Y'all ain't crucify him. Oh, but Mario ain't Nick Saban. That ain't got nothing to do with it. The thing was he had to get his players in there, build his foundation that he wanted. Now look at him. Now he's been top program for 10, 15 years.
Well, we're going to find out real quick, Dre. Let me tell you something. Because I think Mario took all the lower level L's he can take. What I mean by that, like,
oh, yeah.
You done took, listen, you done took, bro, you done took the Middle Tennessee loss. You done took all the lower level L's you could take in your career right now. So I hope to God and exactly. I pray to God, bro, that them days are over. And the words of my man Streeter from Footballville and Bain always say the nightmare is over. Well, Lord, please somebody wake me up, dog. In the words of Christopher Williams, don't wake me, I'm dreaming, yeah. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, so, before it ain't gonna hold your line up close, but a lot of people are talking about Gaddis. You know who we really need to be talking about? I think Steele needs to go too.
Who?
I think Steele needs to go too.
Steve Field, the tight end coach?
No, not Fields. Coach Steele.
Oh, Coach Steele. I'm sorry.
Kevin Steele. Yeah, Kevin Steele.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wasn't pleased with that defense. I wasn't pleased with that defense. I think we had good enough cornerbacks to cover for at least 2 to 3 seconds. If you send pressure, that quarterback got to get the ball. See, that's me. Because I know offense. If you're gonna rush 4, and you're gonna give me 5 seconds, 4 seconds, yeah, sometimes it'll relate to a sack because y'all got so many people in coverage. But if you're giving me 5 or 6 seconds all the time, a decent quarterback gonna pick you apart. We had decent enough secondary where we could have at least the extra blitz or something to make him get the ball out of his hand in 1 or 2 seconds. And you mean tell me we couldn't cover that for 1 or 2 seconds? You see what Ivy did when he did it against Texas A&M? He breaking passes up. He played the best game of his life because the quarterback ain't just sitting back there to pick him apart. I don't think I did. And then you put Darryl Jackson, the biggest D lineman we got, to cover a running back on a wheel route. In my mind, that's like the dumbest thing ever.
I feel you, man. Well, let me go, man. We got more callers calling in, man. Let me go to get this thing rocking. But I appreciate you calling in, man. Big shout out to you, man. Thank you, man.
Okay,
Enjoy.
so,
real quick, man. Who your picks for the day and who the Super Bowl winner?
I want Eagles and Chiefs, and Eagles win the Super Bowl.
All right. Another Kevin Hart drunk moment up there on the stands, trying to get on the stage super drunk. We'll find out here soon, man. And I really want it for Jalen Hurts. I think he deserves it. You know.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he fought through tons of adversity, bro. Was a great teammate, and you know, it is what it is, man. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for calling, brother.
No problem, Coach. Anytime.
Yes, sir.
All
right, man. Great call. We got another 850 in. I spent a little bit of time with a former Cane, man. But host one in the building. Coach was good. Right there to my man AG in the building. I need AG to call in right here. AG, I need you to call in. The phone number is 321-328-8235. I got a call on the line right now, so give it a second. Pay attention, and then you'll see it. I'll start telling you when to call in. 850, call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you're calling from. What's your thoughts on Josh Gaddis firing?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? It's Chris Gaines for life, brother. How you doing, man?
Chris Kane, what's going on with you, baby? Hey, I got to tell you something, man. You be on it, man. My Instagram be blown. I don't be on Instagram like that, but you be blowing my Instagram up, and for that, I must slap that face. Get out of here with all that, man.
Hey, man, it ain't me, man. I'm just a messenger. Don't kill the messenger.
Listen, you be blowing Instagram. I be like, what is all this? I be looking through that stuff. Do be funny though, man. But I appreciate keep them coming, man. That stuff be funny, man. So talk to me, man. What's your thoughts?
Appreciate it, Coach. Man, I'm glad Gaddis has it gone. I'm sorry. I just it's like, yeah, you can sit here and say that he was handcuffed. He was handcuffed because of who he had on the field. But then again, it's like when you, and I picked this up too, when he first got there and he went through his little speech when he was talking to the players, he was like, I didn't have to come here, but I came here because I wanted you to be better. No, the reason why you came there is because you was the last pick of the fruit, and you was the last player that they called to play the 7-on-7 dodgeball, and the other guy with the glasses already done got picked. And your ass was still there to be picked. It was either you or either grandma. And grandma can't walk. So you was the low-hanging fruit, bro. That's number one. Number two, like you said, there was no fight to keep Gaddis in Michigan at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that one person, it's just like that stress relief that's just off of you. You know what I'm saying? And don't nobody want to, hey, go ahead and take it. Go ahead. I don't want nothing for it. Go ahead and take that garbage. Go ahead and take the car, take whatever. It is what it is. You can have it for free. You ain't even got to pay me for it, dog. Just get it out my face. That's how it got taken. A Broyles Award winner, that don't mean nothing. I can broil too. I got a grill. I know how to broil stuff. I can be a Broyles Award winner. What you talking about?
Get out of here, bro. Get off my phone.
I'm just saying. I can broil too. I'm just saying. I can broil too. That don't mean nothing to me.
So here's my question.
To me.
Hold on. I want to be fair because I don't want to be disingenuous. I want to be fair. AG, I'll call you back because I know you all impatient. You end up doing his toes. I'll call you back. 402 people in the building. But I want to be fair. I'm just posing this right here, Chris. Talk to me. He's a Broyles Award winner. He's putting up 45 points a game. We losing 46-45 in the games. Will we then flip that and be like, look at him. Mario went and got a Broyles Award winner. He this, he that, he da. And the defense sucked. So I'm saying, are we using the Broyles Award winner against him when we shouldn't?
No.
I'm just asking the question. And the reason I'm saying
I mean,
the reason I'm saying this.
No, I mean, go ahead.
No, I'm saying the reason I'm saying this, Chris,
Quickly.
is because it doesn't work out. Now the Broyles Award when it doesn't matter. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because when we got him, guess what the number one selling factor on him was?
The Flames Broyles Award.
He won.
The Flames Broyles Award.
Crystal Ball does it again. He goes against the Broyles Award winner from Michigan. He's flipping not only recruits, he's flipping coaches. That's what everybody was screaming. Now, it doesn't work out. Chris on my line right now talking about I could be a Broyles winner. I could broil too. I could go get a grill. All I'm just trying to say is, what we loved about him coming here is now we're going to dismiss all that because it didn't work out. You're like, y'all fans tough, bro. Y'all fans tough. Chris, all I'm going to tell you this is,
yesterday's price is not today's price.
that's all I'm telling you. Talk to
Damn
me.
sure ain't, because that gas is going up too. It's still at the same. But I mean, I was put it to you like this, Coach. Okay, he averaging 19 points a game. I always wondered if we had players that never would have gotten hurt, would we have seen more of the potential? See? If he didn't say certain things out of his mouth to certain kids, you know what I'm saying? I know you got to be, it's not like how it was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You can cuss, you can grab them by the helmet, you can do this, that, and the third. You mess around and say that, you know, they shoestrings get, you know, you got to tuck your shoelaces, they ready to transfer. So I get it. It's you got to articulate yourself different time, different thing. So for you to sit there and say that this is the worst offense that I've ever, that y'all suck and everything else like that, it's like, why would you say something like that to a kid? You got to learn how to articulate yourself. Then you're not there for your recruits. You're not there in certain things like that, because I know he's seen the writing on the wall. He's seen it in Alabama. He's seen it in Michigan. He's seen it here. I'm sure he's seen it in other places that he worked at too. It's all about how you articulate yourself. And basically, to me, he just came off as this really just pompous. I feel, honestly, if we didn't have those people that are players that weren't hurt or didn't have as many significant players hurt as much, we might have did a little bit better, but we probably wouldn't maybe have seen as much, because you have to connect with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. That's the main thing. I could tell you right now, and you think I'm lying. You could tell me right now, Coach, I ain't never played football a day in my life. But if you ask me to go out there and play for you, I'll do anything for you.
I appreciate that, man.
I clothesline a grandmother and keep on moving for my coach. That's what my coach want me to do, because I believe in my coach. No matter how crazy or asinine it is, if I believe in you, I will play for you. I will fight for you to the end. You won't have to carry my big ass off that field in order for me to stop playing. But that's what he missed. They got out there. They was lackluster. They was like, man, can we just go? Yeah. Even in the games they won, it was like, well, we got to win, but let's just go. That Florida State game was ridiculous. Middle Tennessee was ridiculous. Duke was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, what? Like, and then you see, as soon as the season was over, they dipped. But you don't have to connect, and they go to the person that, and mainly the ones that are hired guns that we had, they go to the coach that they connected with the most, that knows how to coach them without degrading them. You see what I'm saying? It's a real thin line, Coach. And I listen to your shows. It's a real thin line with that. But you have to know the good. You have to know the different things. You cannot put stuff out on tweets about what goes on in house.
True story.
You cannot do that.
And you know what?
You cannot do that,
bro. The Twitter sphere got him. You know that the coach Zach Thomas. People have certain feelings about Zach Smith. Excuse me, the coach that had Minister Society, not Society, Minister Sports. I was at Minister Society, but Minister Sports, the former coach for the Gators, and went on Ohio State. He went on there, And like you said, you end up fussing with players about what you are. You know, what flies to an elephant, bro? You're talking to people who are not doing what you do. I watched a thing with Steve Smith, the receiver from the Panthers, and he has a podcast, and he was talking about people calling into his show saying he wasn't good because he won a Super Bowl. He said the difference between me and you is at least I played, you ain't even play, so you ain't even got that close. But what he was saying is basically what flies to an elephant. You are an elephant, and you worried about the little fly over here in the people on the Twitter sphere about, oh, you didn't coach this and you going back and forth. Bro, if you look on my channel, I get people that, Coach Hayes, you talk too much on the show. You talk to Coach Hayes when you break the film. Now, can we just watch the film? Why you got to talk over it? You know what I simply?
Who the hell told you that?
Oh, y'all don't. If you go back and look through a lot of the comments that I get on the WREs, even on these shows, one dude told me for the Deion Sanders. I'm just talking about the comment.
I thought. No, I'm thinking somebody that came through a phone or some stuff.
No, I'll slap that face. I give one of these, man. Just I'll slap that face. Matter of fact, I even got Diego. Hold on, you know who Diego is, right? You know who Diego is, right?
Huh?
You know who Diego is?
And I know Chapo too.
Yeah, Diego. Matter of fact, Diego, come show him if somebody ever call it. Come on in here and show him what happened if they ever get out of line. Here go Diego. We don't play that around here. So if they ever get out of line, I bring Diego in the building. But what I'm saying is, what I'm talking about, Chris, is on the comment section. You know what I do? I appreciate your comment. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button as you watch me talk through these videos. That's it.
That's all you do. You just keep it moving.
You got to go back and forth.
I just don't understand it. You don't degrade yourself because somebody, man, people talk about me all the time. You think I care? You can say anything you want to over Twitter fingers and all this other kind of stuff, but then you get quiet as a church mouse when I come around there. Keep the same energy. Because I ain't standing in the chair. I'm not sitting in the chair. I'm not behind the screen trying to break down film. You keep breaking down that damn film because I still don't know what the hell you be talking about because I've never played this sport, but I enjoy it because you know what you're talking about. I'm learning from that. I'm learning from you. So the hell with what anybody else got to say.
Agreed.
You keep doing what you've been doing.
So, Chris, to your point, but if people read, I want to get insulters. I want to insult them sometime. You know what I want to say? If you read the title, watch, react, evaluate, but they don't even read the title.
No.
They just want to see a highlight. We'll go to Huddle and look at the highlight. But that's too much time wasted. Hey, man, you know what I do? And nobody has ever responded when I say that. Hey, I appreciate your comments, man. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. We're trying to get to 30K.
Because that's not the reaction that they wanted. They want you to go straight Dade County on them. That's why.
That's it.
But when you turn the other cheek, it's like, what?
There it is.
And that's what Gaddis should have did. But no, him being the pompous jerk he is, instead of be like, man, I'm making millions of dollars. Am I really going to worry about what somebody's saying on Twitter? Really? I'm a coach. I ain't got time for this. You know how many M's I got in this bank? You know what kind of team I'm coaching for? Man, screw them. Dude, they ain't come out of his mouth. He go and he do just like what you follow him. And leave all of this crap going on. Like, come on, dog. Like you tripping. But I'm gonna just tell you like this. Because I'm gonna make it quick because I'm on the UA folks time. I am looking for either Scott Frost, maybe the dude from Wake Forest is the OC, James Coley, wide receiver coach. And I you know what? It really don't even matter. Those are my picks, but honestly, just don't get the same thing as Gaddis, because if you're gonna get the same thing as Gaddis, you might as well would have kept him. If that's the case. So I'd rather not you get that with Gaddis, but I'd just rather you go on ahead and get something that's gonna help us win. This right here is a critical move, and you got to strike lightning with this one right here.
Right.
You got to, because if you don't, This is going to be something you cannot be stuck in your ways, Mario. I love you, brother. Great coach, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I respect you, but you cannot be stuck in your ways. You have to be versatile.
Right.
That's what's going to win this championship. That's what's going to move this program forward. I'm telling you, you cannot be stuck in your old ways, because if that's the case, you're going to be stuck out there by your damn self.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like, I just feel whoever we get, let this be the right hire. You know what I'm saying? Get somebody in there that's going to fit with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be able to relate and to understand these kids. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the best position to be great, and for them to make your resume even better. You know what I'm saying? Your resume looks pretty good when it got a couple. It's not as good when it got a couple of lines, but if you got a couple of pages attached to it with your work experience and you left with good standings, that means a lot. But Coach, I got to get ready to get us out of here, man. As far as my predictions, as far as the Eagles and 49ers, I think the Niners might do it. And as far as the Chiefs and the Bengals, I think the Bengals might do it, because Mahomes ain't playing. And I think 49ers going to take it all away for the NFC.
All right, man, real quick. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Chris, as always, supporting, man.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, I'm finna go bug my dog. He said he got to go, but I don't care. I'm going to call him anyway. Reggie, while we're waiting for that call, $2. It's hard to have an argument by yourself. You're 100% right.
Yo.
Man, I called you anyway. I don't care if you got to go. Hey, G, what's up, man?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. So you called in, how I call in. So my question is, what you got to say, my brother? Since you're a Colorado buff now, since your son in Colorado, he an Orlando kid, and he could have came to Miami, but you ain't want to come to Miami because you a hater. You want him to go to Colorado. Talk to me.
Man, you know I got nothing but love for them Hurricanes, man. You know, everybody down there, they're good people and everything. But the reality is, man, and I hope that everybody hears me on this. The biggest problem is nowadays people don't evaluate talent. Like when you do your watch, read, and react, evaluate, like if people really listen to what you're saying, you're really breaking kids down no matter what level they're supposed to be. Right now, schools like Miami and a lot of schools, they're just getting kids just because they got a 5 or 4-star ranking. But the people that are doing the ranking have never played college football. They've never played high school football. Damn sure ain't played pro. So, you know, one thing about your evaluation, you're a coach, so you know what you're looking for. Miami, to me, has gotten a lot of kids that are 4 or 5 stars that they play like they're 2 stars. And what's happening now, there are a lot of coaches across the country, they're not taking the time to trust their eyes, because part of their contract states that they have to have so many 4 stars, so many 5 stars, all that kind of stuff. So we all know that the easily one of the top 2 to 3 talent spots in America is right there in Miami. If you count the whole state of Florida, they're definitely number 1. Florida, Texas, Georgia, California. There's no way, you know, we talking about Miami, South Beach. So you have a recruiting advantage off the rip. So, you know, you got all the, you know, different type of women, you know, so those guys would love to come there. But they're evaluating kids that, you know, they're not like that. And then everybody's calling the kid a bust. No, the kid wasn't a bust. He wasn't like that when you recruited him. So, you know, that's my only thing. I hear people talking about the U and all that, but they got to get back to the old U where they were sitting around evaluating these kids. And once they do that, they'll be fine.
So you know what, AG, it's funny you bring that up. I've said this all the time. Real quick. 27 Kane, appreciate it, $20 dono. Thank you so much, man. But I've said this before, AG. And for those that don't know, AG, I've had him on the show before. He's here in Central Florida. He has recruiting. He does the Golden Ticket Bus Tour, takes players around. If you watch my channel, his son is Asad Wasim. I did an in-depth interview, the player person prospect interview on there. So that's who he is. Some people ask, who is this?
Which, by the way, hold on. By the way, when y'all watch it, my son said I wasn't a player. And this cat here, you know, he ate that up. But trust me, I was a player in my day. We just want to clarify that. I just didn't want to mess up their little program. But go ahead.
Well, everybody played spades back in the day. So, yeah, technically you were a player.
No. I was a player when it came a PLAYA. And if you don't know what that is, then you might want to get another show.
Oh, you was a player. You was a
but
beach.
You went to Hampton, so I forgot that part. You know, but you went to Hampton. I forgot you didn't have a lot of that.
Man, come on, man. Anyway, we're gonna get into it, but here's the real deal, though. So, we're talking about recruiting, and I look at people who are successful in recruiting, and you know who they typically are? A lot of old school cats. They're not relying on the iPad and the algorithm. Like you said, they're relying on their eyes. If your eyes have never seen the glory, you don't know what glory looks like. What do I mean by that? When you look at the Nick Sabans, the Dabos, the Ryan Days, the older coaches in the game, you don't see Nick Saban walking around with an iPad and an algorithm, right? He's looking at the player. That's why he can look at this. Listen, this is why he can look at particular players and understand what they can bring value to his team. Whether he is an inch shorter, but how does he make up that inch? With speed. How does he make up maybe a step slow? With length, right? See, he has his own algorithm in his head. It's not computerized. It is experienced-rized, if that's the right word. I don't even know that's a word. But through his experience.
It's like a recipe.
Exactly.
Like grandma's recipe for biscuits.
There you go.
You know, that's all it is. Like Nick Saban's a great example because I remember Jordan Battle, like wanting to play for Florida and Miami, and neither one of them wanted to offer him. And Nick Saban offered him, and he started 3 years at Alabama.
Exactly.
So you know, I get it. I mean, like you see, it's not just even the head coaches; it's the old assistant coaches. Like, you know, they know what a player looks like. And I think the young players have got, the young coaches, the younger the coaches have gotten, it's all about a four. This is my thing. And this example I give you. No disrespect to Rivals 247 on 3. I love all those guys because what people don't understand, that is a media outlet. So their job is to try to get you to subscribe, to take the articles, pay that $10. They're writers. So credit them for being good writers. But when we're talking about evaluation, that's not what they're there for. So, you know, one of the biggest problems around is everybody's going off of those rankings and they're not really looking at these kids. You know, I'm at games and I'm seeing kids and no, I won't call any names, but in Central Florida where they're all Americans and they're getting plastered, giving up 5-6 sacks in a game, but you're an all American. That's ridiculous.
Because you're 6'5", 320 pounds.
Correct. Just because you meet the measurements. I mean, I have coaches that will call me, and literally, I've had a coach call me and say to me, and this blows, AG, I need a DB that's 6'2". And I said, well, coach, there's not really any left. All the other ones are already committed. I got a kid 5'11", but he got a 45-inch vertical. Now he got to be 6'2". He got to be 6'2". But I got a 6'2" kid over here with a 25-inch vertical. Yeah, give me him. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And so, that's one of the problems with recruitment. And until, schools start going back to the same teams always are winning because they're doing their due diligence when it comes to recruitment. Miami is too much talent in Miami to not be for the talent. I don't care who the coach is. There should be way too many kids because it's 3-star kids in Miami that make the league
all the time.
3-star kids in Florida that make the league. So there's too much talent in Florida for Florida State, and Miami to be looking like they are. Coach at Florida State, Norvell, he's done a good job of getting his team back. But hey, we're talking about the ACC, bro. Let's just be real. The ACC right now is not a powerhouse.
Mm-mm.
So that's what makes Miami struggles even more. So and also too, this is the other thing. You just paying guys now, man. Bruh, I mean, the kid ain't even got on campus yet, and you paying them all. Don't get me wrong. I want the kids to get all the money, so it's a catch-22. But what I'm saying is, man, kid ain't never played before. If you give a kid $1 million, hey man, he might not be as hungry as he was before he got that money. So that's another thing. I think they're going in too hard about the money. I've had recruits flat out tell me they just talk about the money. No, man, kids still want to know. Kids still want to know that you're going to develop them.
Sure.
It's almost like these young boys out there. Trust me, them young girls still want to know you're gonna protect them. You're gonna provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
They still want to know that. Some things are old fashioned and they never change.
True
Every
story.
kid in America that to make it to the NFL, not just to make it to college.
True story. I mean, like I say, AG is funny because we have a lot of things in common. We worked before. I actually started out with him. We were talking about recruiting and all that. We used to do it on the channel. That was back with Be Live and all that stuff. But anyway, the funny thing though, AG, like, let's take your son for example, right? Your son is what? Just short of, right at 6 foot, maybe?
Yep, right at 6 foot.
So he's right at 6 foot. One of the top. Didn't he just receive one of the top players here in Orange County?
Yeah, he was Player of the Year for Central Florida, and he was actually voted Player for 4 Metro for the state of Florida by a couple of rankings, and he was definitely ranked one of the top 25 kids in the state for the all-state first team, regardless of classification.
Okay, and the reason I'm using him because he has ended up at Colorado right now with Coach Prime. But we're talking about, the reason I'm using him because I think he's a, lack of a better word, pun intended, a prime example of what's happening with the state of Florida football. How we're letting players slide out of here because they may not fit all the measurables, but they're going to go somewhere else and ball. And I've called the games. I've watched your kid. I've seen him. We've been around a long time. I've seen him when he was in elementary school getting it in. I know he can play.
Not new.
I ain't new to it. I know he can play. But how does a young man like him, not because it's your son, but how does a young man like him slip away from Miami, Florida State?
Well, let me say this. In fairness to Miami, they definitely offer it. So I can actually say that. But one of the problems that my son had is like a lot of the recruiting services had him at 5'8". Now, the last time he went to a camp, which was his freshman, or I think it was maybe the beginning of his sophomore year, he was 5'8", but he ended up being 6 foot. But so a lot of schools, they would see that and they just would go off of that. But, and then also my son had the situation with, his old high school that he left his junior year was saying negative things about him. I don't know if did I ever show you that little paperwork, Hayes?
No, send it to We'll Talk, but go ahead.
Send it off the phone. You're going to be pissed, but it's what it is. But so he had guys out there sabotaging. But one of the things that has happened in the state as well is like a kid like that they are questioning or whatever, their eyes thinking good, but he don't have a Bama offer or he don't have those kind of offers. They won't offer. And then those kids end up going to schools, and killing it. I mean, prime example is, you have kids not just in Florida, but just all over. The kid that was at North Carolina, he came down to Florida, Miami. I know those are schools he wanted to go to, the wide receiver.
You talking about Josh Downs?
Yeah, Dre Bly was his uncle. So Dre Bly had him come to North Carolina. Now he's going to go to the pros. So it happens across the country. Like, a lot of guys, if you don't fit the measurables, then it's an issue. And even, like that's the thing. A kid may be 5'8" today, might be 6'1" tomorrow. But, coaches aren't doing their due diligence.
And here's what I know, AG. I know you 6'5". Your wife is probably 5'8", 5". She's tall for a lady. She's what, 5'8", 5'9",
5'8".
right?
Yeah.
So he might have another spurt in him. See, this is what when you just said due diligence. When you do your due diligence,
they think it's going to be 6'2", but there's certain things like those are things that the old school coaches they will project. Like the old guys who've been around. Oh man, look at the mom. That's look at the daddy, look at the mom. They do those kind of things. The new school coaches they don't do stuff like that. But to your point, there's no way kids from Florida to be because people always wonder what happened to the big three. All the kids start going to Bama. They start going to, and really the internet and TV kind of helped it out because now, like, prime example, Cedric Baxter. He's at Texas.
Nowhere in the world that should happen.
There's no way he said it's supposed to be in Texas. Where these guys should have been on him. Like, why? Because guess what? He had all the measurables as a sophomore. So you can't even use that excuse. You know what I'm saying? But they got out recruited by the coach in Texas who did a great job of connecting with said, never talking about money, always just being real with the man.
But ain't that crazy though? But that's you're gonna
What's
tell
that?
me that's crazy. I am at a school. I'm at the University of Florida, which is a little short of 2 hours from Orlando. Florida State, 4 hours from Orlando. Miami, 3.5 hours from Orlando. And none of them can build a relationship that Coach Choice did with Cedric Baxter. It is no way on God. It is no way on God's green earth. You know how sometimes your enemies become your friend. If I'm Mario, if I'm Bill Napier, and I'm Mike Norvell, I'm gonna say, let me tell y'all something. We all hate each other, but we gonna band together. Let us three fight for this dude. We ain't gonna let him out of the state.
Well, to be honest, man,
that's crazy.
Florida State got the initial offer, but I just and they did, they were coming in. That's the problem when, like, I think Florida State will close more deals now because they're winning. That's another thing too. You can't, like, hey man, I think Cedric liked Florida State initially because he committed to him as a freshman, but they were losing. So if you're losing, hey man, no matter how much these kids like you, they're gonna go somewhere else. But I will say his relationship, and then Florida's coach came in late, so like in their defense, they didn't have the same amount of time. And then same thing with Miami. He liked all three coaches. The problem is they got in there. Your boy had been having relationships with him since he was at Georgia Tech, since he was a freshman. Guess what I would did? If I'm Mario AG, I hate to say this. Instead of me hiring Kevin Steele, I'm finna go hire Choice. Listen, two things gonna happen. Either I'm gonna increase your pay at Texas or you coming to the crib. I'm gonna give you that 2-point-something million to be the running back coach and the run game coordinator at Miami to get C4. Think about it. Like, to be honest, that's what they did. People forget that Choice left Georgia Tech and went to USC. And Steve Sarkisian was like, come on over here, because we won't see folks. And so he left USC and came to Texas. So I mean, coaches got to do it. You got to get guys who are able to bend. And this is where coaches are making their mistakes at. You got to get these guys early nowadays. The days of waiting till they, you got to find out. You got to build a relationship with this guy. I can tell the coaches, right? It's a kid at Dr. Phillips right now, freshman, gonna be serious. Now, dudes are gonna wait till you're junior, and then they go, "Ooh, no, man." You got to be able to project that kind of stuff. When you go into these, you've been a coach. They come into your school. Hey, coach, what you got? You tell them, hey, I got Joe Milton coming. They don't want Joe right there. Now Joe has a hell of a season. You want him, but it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because somebody saw Joe Milton and they got on him right away. First of all, that's another thing they got to do a better job of. You have plenty of coaches that you should trust to where if he says, hey, man, get after that kid. Like right now, all jokes aside, me and you been boys for a long time. If we out of the club and I say, hey, that one over there, you want to get at him, what you going to go do? Holla. That's what I'm saying. And that's what they need to do. Because your boy ain't gonna never tell you wrong. Yeah, and that's true, right? And the problem is, I think here's what a lot of position coaches do a bad job with. They don't take that relationship to the head coach. So here's where the problem is. So now, let's say, AG, you work for Florida or whatever. Me and you got a cool relationship. Yeah, you believe what I'm saying. But does the head coach really trust what you're saying? Or does he trust me? Where we're so scared to build relationships where if I go in there and say, hey, or AG go in there and say, hey, man, Hayes said we gotta jump on this kid from Dr. Phillips as a freshman. And I know that I have a relationship with Billy Napier. And he says, all right, coach, I got it. I understand. Because I trust what Coach Hayes is saying. You understand? Like the relationships have to go beyond just a position coach because they're not the power holders. They just the go finders. Well, the biggest problem, honestly, is coaches got to start hiring guys over the director recruiting that have some juice. Like, quite frankly, there's no way. I said, and he probably never said, but Mike Thompson, there's no way Mike Thompson shouldn't be the recruiting coordinator for the University of Miami. No way. Mike Thompson is connected to the kids. He knows everybody in the area. So it's like he got a kid, Renard Andrews, that I didn't know. he called, say, hey man, let him be in your junior game. I'm like, cool, just I trust him. He came up there, man, it was phenomenal. I was like, man, why the hell this kid ain't got no offers? And coaches got to get out their feelings. And that's another thing too. Just because I don't like a dude, man, I can work with somebody I don't like, as long as he's honest. Get out your feelings, find out who the guys in the area that really truly know who the dogs are, because that's the key to this whole thing. Right. If you get a bunch of dogs, people can talk all day about coach. Man, let me give Coach Hayes Alabama program. I bet you Alabama's still gonna win. I'll put money on it. Because I didn't see you I give you a hard time all the time. I've seen you do more with less. You're the only man I ever know in world history, to lose to two teams that fought for the state championship and lose his job. You lost a playoff game and you lost to two teams in the regular season that
state champions
end up playing for the state and lost your job. You're the only person I've ever seen do that. Now, if that's what I'm saying. Those are the kind of things that people got to get out their feelings. Even if I didn't like you,
right,
you'd have still kept that job, doing a great job.
Right, like you said, we lost, and you know that we didn't have a bunch of talent.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And so, those are things like, that if Miami cleans up, I think Coach Cristobal wants to, but he needs to make sure, you bring in Kevin Steele, man, you got Charlie Strong on the bench. And I like Kevin Steele, but there's no way in the hell I'm bringing him in if I got Charlie Strong. That's a waste of money. Charlie Strong is a defensive genius. What are we talking about? His problems have never been his defense. It's always been that he was at a school and his offense wasn't producing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are things that, I don't, it bothers me because Charlie Strong would do a tremendous job as a defensive coordinator. And he knows what he's doing.
He's been around. So, and like I said, he's been around. He's in the college game. Yeah, he spent a little bit of time in the NFL, but he knows the college game and so forth and so on. But like I say, hey, bro.
I mean, the Canes are going. I'm hoping. Me personally, I'm hoping the Canes do well because I don't want to see you jump off a bridge. But at some point, Florida's going to have to go back to what it used to be, man. Start recruiting. Like, one thing about Florida back in the day, they wasn't the biggest. They wasn't the longest, but they was dogs. Peter Warrick was a dog. All them boys in Miami.
Lavernius Coles.
Correct. They were dogs.
Warrick Dunn wasn't no big dude.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. They were dogs. That's how you win. I mean, so, I'm hoping and praying, man. I know you got other callers and everything, but I'm hoping and praying that Miami gets everything.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I thank you so much. But, hey, man, y'all wish you the best. Like I say, I know your son's going to do well. I'm not saying that because our relationship, like you said, the biggest thing about friendship, you got to be able to tell the truth. And I really believe in my heart he's going to do well there. And you got to let them boys know. I already put up 3 bottles of Bobby Brown. I done bet that y'all going to at least be bowl eligible next year with 6 wins.
Oh, man, I see, I've been up there and to be totally honest, I keep it a buck. They're going to be good. Like, one thing I give Prime.
6 wins good? 6 wins? 6 wins good?
6 wins good. They're gonna get that. The one thing I give Prime, first of all, the kids want to play for him. Secondly, man, the everybody sees the Prime, but Dion, man, is like probably the greatest dude. Like, Dion is a great dude, man. Like, and like the caller said earlier, he's the kind of guy that a kid will jump through a wall trying to please his coach because he knows his coach love him and care about it. And so he's not going to accept mediocrity. Like, and that's something going back to, I think that along the way, man, the old Miamis wouldn't have accepted that. Come on, bro. They wouldn't have accepted that. And so Dion has a certain thing he's going to do. He got him looking right. He got him in that weight room. He working the hell out of him, and I'm sure they'll go through their growing pains. But he developed, what he did was he put a hell of a staff together. He really did. And one of the best people on that staff is that damn Tim Brewster. Tim Brewster is probably one of the best. Yeah, that's a bad boy. Tim Brewster don't have no problem going into the poking beans and going to get a kid because they know he's real.
Yes,
so yeah, like Dion got people from Miami up there right now. And what he's doing is he's really taking the time to sit down and evaluate kids and being like, hey, he could have played with me at Florida State. Cool,
right.
we offer him. But that kid ain't no dog. I know he's a 4-5-star kid, but he ain't no dog, so no, we don't want him.
Gotcha.
So he's really taking the time to sit back and evaluate talent. Like my son, when he busted that 95 against Columbus, that was all. He was like, what we waiting on? Hey man, let's go.
I love
so it. Those like crime is different, and you're gonna get your 6 wins. They're gonna be bowl eligible. And one weekend, I'm about to let my wife stay at home when you can come on out there with me, and we're gonna hang out like we supposed to.
Hey, all you gotta do is let me know. I went and bought my Frontier Go Wild Pass for $800. I can fly anywhere in the country, unlimited, right? Unlimited. All I need to do, you got to go to Frontier. I don't know if they still got it. It was $800, unlimited for a full year. And you know as much as I fly, if I just take 4 flights in a year, I paid for it, right?
Yeah.
So
Frontier actually has a flight up there. So
a
I need
straight
to get on
flight.
That
You need to do that right now. It was $7.99. It started off at $5.99, whatever. Now it went up to $7.99. I got it at $7.99, so $800. And it is what it is. I don't even know why I put that out there. They didn't even pay me. I should have went on and kept that quiet. So if Frontier,
tell them that they got to give you a. But text me the information, man, when you get done.
Frontier.com.
All right, boy.
I appreciate you, AG.
All right, well,
yes, sir.
All right, baby. Peace.
Yeah. All right, man. That's my man AG, man. New King, guys. Sorry about that. $4.99. Stop talking like these kids aren't getting paid to leave and go to Texas, Alabama. $4.99. I appreciate that very much. I know the game about to get started, about to kick off here. Probably already has. I don't know. But we're going to take this last one. 850 area code. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, and we out of here after this call.
This is Sean out of Dallas, but I'm from Liberty City.
All right. Talk to us. Liberty City / Dallas.
Coach, I don't know the right way to word this, but I'm just going to keep it a buck.
Okay.
What is a Miami player nowadays? Where is all my dogs where I grew up playing with, watching? And, I'm so tired of hearing about these coaches and this and that. And I even wrote in the comments, at some point, I haven't seen straight dogs in years. I hear about these players coming out of, certain parks and this and that. I mean, what is going on down here in my hometown? Please tell me, update me. Am I missing something? Have we fallen?
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what's happening.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening. How old are you, sir? How old are you?
I'm 42.
Okay. So we're the same, man. I'm 45, 42. So
I went to Miami, class of 01.
Okay. Oh, you played for Miami?
No, I went to school there, but I didn't play. No.
Okay. You went to Miami. Fine. Mm-hmm. Here's what's happening, or here's what has happened, and maybe the tides are changing.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. And AG actually just said it as well. Just got off. The internet.
Oh, great caller. That last one was great.
Yeah. AG is my man. He does a lot here with recruits in the area and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out toprecruitsnow.com. That's where his information is if you want to just check out anything. But anyhow,
we'll do.
AG just said it. The internet, and I've said this for years, the internet has hurt the University of Miami more than anything else. It allowed kids to see beyond County Line Road. If you were in Miami, very rarely you got out of Miami unless you went to the military or college. We had kids. We took kids to Michigan State one year. We took 22 kids to Michigan State. 19 had never been on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
We had kids that didn't know the difference between departure and arrivals.
Yeah.
As simple as that seems, just understand that. Luckily we had 22 people on the plane, and planes don't wait for nobody. But they knew hey, Captain, we got some kids we're trying to work with here. Can you help us out? They held us to get some of these kids on the plane. What I'm saying is, this was pre 9/11, so it wasn't all the security checks as it was. But anyhow, I'm saying all that to say, once the internet took place, it allowed kids a bigger point of view. It allowed, you remember media guides? We used to come in there.
Yes.
Media, nobody reading the media guide. Coaches used to come in there and bring stacks of them things, and coaches would put them on their desk to prove who came by. Florida State, Alabama. Or that was like a put it on the coffee table in the coach's office to say who came by. But it was more of decor than it was information. Nobody read that crap.
That's a fact.
But now the internet allowed people to see the facilities through video of Clemson, Ohio State, Michigan, Arizona, Oregon.
Mm.
Because what kids thought was at because what kids thought what was at Miami was everywhere. And that wasn't the truth. I don't know how long you've been listening, but I was just on the phone with Jarrell, a former Cane.
The whole time, yeah, I listened. I heard
he was just talking about
2005
to 2008. They still had wood benches and 2 couches with a name tag over your locker. In 08,
you made a good point. I don't even cut you off. You made a good point when you were talking to him about how these schools are on a second round of $40 million investments into the program.
And we just think about it. We just get an indoor practice facility.
What is that? And that's where my passion comes from. That's my alma mater. Don't get me wrong, but that's not even my point. My point is like international city. I don't care about that. I don't want to hear that. At some point, is it cultural? Is it the school not caring? Is it?
No, I'm gonna explain to you why. No, I'm gonna explain to you. I'm walking you through why this happens, so you have a true understanding. And this is from my perspective.
Yeah.
Now that the internet comes along, because you asked me where the dogs are. That's why I'm telling you all this backstory to tell you how the dogs how the dogs get out the kennel. Now that kid, then 707 comes along. Now you're starting to get these travel teams, right? Where they're taking 707 around the different colleges. What happens when you go to those colleges? Those colleges use that as a recruiting opportunity, right?
Boy, don't they?
So now when I go play 707 at Auburn, I'm inside the indoor practice facility playing 707. When Miami doesn't have an indoor practice facility. We out there in the heat at Green Tree playing 707 or Paradise Camp or whatever camp they had at the time, if they even had one.
That is so crazy.
So now, hold on, I'm walking you through this kind of year by year. So now Nick Saban who comes from Michigan State. What does Nick Saban know? Nick Saban went and got Cedric Irvin a long time ago, right? Nobody heard about Michigan State football, but he gets Cedric Irvin out of Miami, goes to play at Michigan State, and that's what got him on the map. Then he leaves. Now he's like, boom, I got my claws in South Florida, right? This is right at the turn of the internet. Now he goes to LSU. LSU, who does he get? I keep bringing it up right here. Dwayne Bowe, right here. Terrell McGill, Ali Highsmith. He ended up getting the number 1 quarterback, Jamarcus Russell, right? Skylar Green. We just talking about players that's coming from out of there, right?
Yeah.
So now he's getting those guys. Where's he getting them from? South Florida. Then he takes the LSU job. Where does he go next? The Dolphins. What does he do? He's smart enough to know I don't have to abide by rules. He's at the Dolphins. What does he do? He started bringing high school coaches to the Miami Dolphins facilities to do coaching clinics, to keep the relationships alive. So when he goes to Alabama, the relationships are still alive. In South Florida, he kept his claws in the entire time, right? Because the Dolphins don't have to abide by NCAA rules. They can have coaching clinics. I've been to them.
Yeah.
So now when he goes to Alabama, relationships are still good. So when he comes down with that little pink coat on and he comes to get these players at Alabama, you talk about it. Now here's where the dogs. See how you start losing the dogs?
Yeah.
So the Dwayne Bowes, i.e. Andre, for example, equivalent to Andre Johnson. Ali Highsmith, equivalent to who? Your big-time linebackers. These are the players I'm talking about, right? What was the guy, Ricky Jean Francois from Carol City? That'd have been your Warren Sapp. Yeah. That's where you start losing these players. All of those kids from South Florida start to leave the city and not go to Miami because they could see beyond County Line Road and think about that's just there. Then let's talk about Mark Richt at Georgia, who takes the Sony Michel, the Isaiah McKenzie's, right? Those are South Florida guys that Sony Michel would have been in. James White leaves and goes to Wisconsin from St. Thomas. That's where your
You bringing
dogs
up
are.
some dogs.
Yeah, but your dogs are going to other schools. And what Miami was left with was the second tier guys. This is not to berate them or belittle them,
Yeah.
but we are now left with the second tier guys. I believe in my heart we kept Duke Johnson because Duke was a Miami Hurricane lifer, and he believed he wanted to be close to home, I guess is the right way to say it. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who was the coach. That's just my opinion. You can ask him yourself, tweet him or whatever. But that was my opinion.
Mhm.
We got a couple guys here and there, but we didn't get an abundance of them. Right? We got
Am I wrong to place my faith in Mario though? Because I watch some of our fans, on social media, and when I go into the city, I go to about 3 games a year, and it's almost like people care about him more right than supporting the school and then players that's on the field. It drives me crazy.
Nah, I mean, fans gonna be fans, and not everybody has
Like
a
they won't
voice.
be. They talking about all kind of.
Yeah, but everybody has a voice. Everybody has a voice.
That's true. That's true.
So
I didn't mean to talk so long. I know the game on.
No, yeah, I'm finna get off here because I see it's 6-0. They talking about the Philly rolling. But anyway, so now I'm trying to tell you where the dogs are. So now think about this, just receivers. Think about receivers. Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Jared Judy. Them 3 top dogs that ain't come here.
Straight dogs.
Dogs. Let's look at Alabama's whole backfield from last year. All South Florida kids.
Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry, Coach.
These are the things you asked me where the dogs are. They out the yard, bro.
Oh.
But so I'm showing you how they got. I'm showing you how they got out the yard. The internet allowed that. Hopefully now Cristobal is bringing them back in, but they're out the yard because one, we were losing, and 2, we didn't understand the power of the internet. We did a bad job. So now think about this. The internet also brought in what? More exposure at game. Back in our day, you only had ABC, NBC, Fox to watch game. Now you got ESPN, ESPNU, ESPN2, ESPN3. You got streaming services.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, guess what? Back then, flying was way more expensive. Today, like I just said, you can fly back and forth for under $200. So exposure and access to the games is more accessible. Back then,
I like what Mario's doing though. I like his focus, and I like how he keeps things on the low. Am I the only one that feels that way? I mean,
I don't know, bro. I'm gonna leave that there. I have a whole nother thing about it, but I'm about to get off this deal,
that's
man.
true. Nah, you good, Coach. Hey, love the show, man. Love what
Appreciate
you do.
it.
I watch everything. So
Thank you,
keep
man.
doing your thing, boy.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you, man. Okay.
Have a good night, man.
You too, man.
Hang up, man.
All right. Oh, no, I got one. Oh, I must have hit the button. I got one more. All right. You on your go ahead. I'm getting off. Go ahead. 305. Hold on. Y'all clap it up. We got 305 in the building. We got to hold of 305. All right. I'm going to hit the accept button instead of the hang up button on this one. All right. Go ahead. Talk to us, caller. Caller?
You got 305. Coach.
Yes, sir. 863 on the line. Yeah, 863 on the line.
How you doing?
Good. Real quick. Hold on 1 second. Danielle Ewing, appreciate the $10 donut on Cash App. Says, go to Disney World and get some coaches. I guess we might have to go to Disney World and get Mickey the coach. So thank you, Danielle. Daniel, excuse me. I'm sorry, not Daniel. Appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you so much for the $10 on Cash App. If you care to donate, you can do so. We'll pop it up on the screen, or you can do so as well onto the super chat. Go ahead, Carl. I don't know how you slipped in here, boy. You must got some magic potion on you, man. Y'all trying to get off here. Go ahead, talk to us, man. We out of here.
Yeah, man, because I've been like calling. I'm gonna keep calling till I get in because I know Coach busy.
Yeah, the line be jumping, man. Talk to us, man. We got over 300 people in. Go ahead.
So this is what I got for you. So everybody, getting upset about a lot of things, and I am too. But let's think about this. They're talking about recruits. I mean, we're going after these recruits. What about coaches? How come we just can't recruit these coaches and go after the coach we need, the ones we want, and just like go hard? I mean, it seems like to me, everybody get the good coaches, they're paying them, and they're coming in and they're playing hard, and they're coaching hard. I mean, the kids react to them. So why can't we go out and get these coaches? I don't know. I mean, if Mario's the guy that can go out and get coaches, I don't know what it is. That's one question. And the other question is, now that Gaddis is gone, how do we feel about the players that left? You think if he was gone way before that these players would have stayed? The one that was on offense, you think Rooster would have stayed if Gaddis was already gone? Go ahead, Coach.
Good question, man. So far as getting the coaches, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of coaches don't want to do that grind, man. Mario Cristobal talked about the grind, and a lot of people have seen different ways to win it. You don't need to spend 22 hours in the facility to win. This is all speculation. I don't know. I don't know why we can't land the guys we want to land. Maybe he's very picky about it. I don't know. I really can't answer that. And then the second piece is, if Gaddis left early, would the players have left? I don't know who their issues was with. I don't know if Rooster had an issue with Josh Gaddis. Maybe he had an issue with Coach Cristobal. Maybe he had an issue with Kevin Smith. So it's hard for me to answer why a player left without maybe talking to him, because I don't know where the issues lie, if that makes sense. There is something in there why Tyler Van Dyke came back. Maybe he knew a long time ago that Josh Gaddis was going to be gone, and that's why he decided to return. Maybe he and Coach Cristobal had a conversation that says, hey, look, Coach Gaddis is going to be gone. We're going to bring in somebody else. Maybe you may be a part of that process of picking out who you like, and we want you to stay. Maybe that's why he stayed. And Jake Garcia decided to leave. Maybe he wasn't privy to that conversation, because I think they still feel like I think they needed one of both. They weren't going to keep both. Jake Garcia wasn't going to stay if Tyler Van Dyke stayed. If Tyler Van Dyke didn't think Jake Garcia would stay. But now, this will now be year 3 for Jake. And he's not, and now your competition is still ahead of you. So, to me, Ja'Curry Brown still has time on the clock. But I think Jake Garcia is feeling the time crunch. So I don't know. It's hard to say if a kid would have left because of Josh Gaddis leaving, because I don't know the relationships between them all. But hopefully that answers your question.
It does. It does in a lot of ways. And, I'm a Canes fan too, just like everybody's calling. It is depressing the way things are. But, I look for the up. But is there such thing as an assistant head coach on the college level where, you got this big time recruiter for Ohio State, that wide receiver coach? Talking about him. He does get people out of Florida. So it is a thing where you go ahead and say, listen, you're going to be my offense coordinator. You're going to call the play. You in charge of this offense. And you also going to be the assistant head coach. Is that something that you can tell a coach, or something you can't tell a coach?
Yeah, you can. You could tell them whatever you want. But a lot of coaches use that as leverage to get more money. They don't really want to leave. But what do? So, for example, if Brian Hartline can go back to Ryan Day and say, hey, look, Mario Cristobal reached out to me and said he wanted me to be the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. And he's going to pay me, I don't know, I'm just making a number up, $2 million. Maybe that coach wants to leave, maybe he doesn't. But let's say Brian Hartline goes back to Ryan Day and tells him that. And Ryan Day says, all right, listen, I give you $2.3 million and give you those same titles, and you can stay right here. And maybe the guy stayed. He used it as a bargaining chip. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if a guy wants a way out, he'll go and say, hey, look, Miami's willing to buy out my contract. They're going to pay me X amount of dollars, make me associate head coach or assistant head coach. And Coach Ryan Day, thank you for all your help and da-da-da, and I'm gone. It's all negotiations, man. All right, I think I'm back.
You there?
Yeah, no, I'm here, but the feed
Okay.
went out. The feed went out for a second. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay.
But I don't know if I make. I don't know if I make.
You do that.
I'm saying I don't know if I would do that to Brian Hartline. I think we need to find somebody. You got to find somebody that doesn't want any upward mobility. They want to be a coordinator. You got to find like a Brett Venables right now, not the current Brett Venables, but a guy who wants to be an OC and spend his time in that chair for a while. That wants to build something and that you believe in. That's just my personal belief.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, I appreciate you. I mean, I love your show. Keep
Appreciate
doing what you do, man. I'll holler at you later.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to close this so I don't make any more phone calls. All right. So, with that being said, thank you everybody who came by, hung out with us. The Eagles are up 7-0. I said 3 o'clock. You know I can't ever stay on time, man, because I love my people so much. If you have subscribed today, thank you so much for being a part of the team. And we're going to have some special things coming out. Stay tuned. Catch us for the Coach Me Coach podcast at 8 p.m. with Dom on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., as well as other Coach Me Coach podcasts that come out throughout as things break. And I really enjoyed it. I moved this up a little bit today because I want to be able to watch the game. So I got the game actually playing over here on the screen. I'm watching the Philadelphia Eagles put that funk on right now. So we're going to see what's going on. With all that being said, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Hit the like, subscribe button, as well as, I got to do this right. I can't forget. Come on, y'all. I can't forget. Don't forget, if you're in the area, February 10th, Valentine's Day weekend, come check out the Southern Soul with Tucker, G. Jones, King George, Tina P, DJ Trucker, and hosted by comedian extraordinaire Special K from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Come check us out, man. It's at the Apopka Amphitheater, all-white party. Coach Blanco is in the building. That is right. I am Coach Hayes, but on that night, call me Coach Blanco because I'm going to be ready to rock and roll, and we're going to make it happen. Check it out. Great Valentine's Day weekend. It is the Friday, the 10th before Valentine's Day at the Apopka Amphitheater. Show starts at 5:30. Gates open at 4 p.m. So with all that being said, I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. We out here. Check out Alex Tabio for all your home financing needs. And we out here. Peace. Catch you at the 50-yard line.